Hello. Hold on one second. We got someone's Bluetooth on here. Yeah, and playing music right now. They're playing music right now. No, I hear nothing. No, we just got this playing. This was stuck on. This was stuck. We figured it out. All right, let's try this again. And we're not high. I'm not high. Whatever. So my name's Ryan, aka Crownson. Other co-host is Jay. True.
How's it going?
And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that music that you're listening to is entrance music. And let's go ahead and today's guest on the Healing Chefs, coming in at 6'7". No, I mean, is the homie Ben, shot by Ben. Thank you very much for coming in. How are we doing?
For having me. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Excited for this.
Yeah. Sorry about ruining the entrance, but we got that going. So
5'11", by the way. That's 5'11", not 6'7".
Yeah. I mean, but if you look at the WWE and everything, like none of them are really that height. That they're all a little bit. I don't know.
Perception.
Yeah. Like it's entertainment. So, but yeah, that's why sell the sizzle, not the steak. All right. So before we get into like any segments or anything, if you could explain to like the watchers and listeners exactly what it is you do, and for like in the community and so on and so forth.
Yeah, definitely. So I do a couple of different things. So I'm known as Shot by Big Ben. So my photography page, videography page. So help out with brands for content and brand imagery. So that they can just help with their professionalism as well as connect with the community. So help with that aspect. And then I also work my day job, which is Dutchie. So it's a cannabis software company. So helping with like inventory management and keeping with compliance as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. I, as a bud tender in the industry, I've used Dutchie quite a few times at different places, checking people into, all that kind of stuff. And in the back end for sure. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. But again, this is the Healing Chefs podcast. Healing Chefs, chef comes from chief. Chief is leader. Everyone that we have on here, I believe, is a leader in their own sense. Ben is a good homie. We do the Call of Duties together. And also, I've been watching his photography and stuff, and he's one of the best photographers around who you can bring whoever you want to your photo shoot. He's not a creep. Ladies and gentlemen, way to go. Because we all know in Arizona, there's some awesome, really good ones out there too. So just like anything else, but thank you for coming. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the first segment being Cannabis Journey. And there was no sound with that video. Is there something going? Oh, okay. Let's run it again. Yeah, real quick, please. Gilmore. Oops. We'll get there today, guys. It's all good. Life isn't perfect, and neither are we. So, So, Cannabis Journey is all about how you found cannabis yourself, and where you're at with it now.
Yeah. So I found it in probably like middle school was when I first consumed cannabis. More just for fun, hanging out with friends. Got it from an older sister. Had an awesome time. Ate a shit ton of food.
Shout out older sister.
Of course, older sisters. And then from there, the big journey that kind of really positioned myself to want to be part of the community and grow my career in cannabis was probably when I was 21, 22, when my life partner, now fiance, she herniated her L4 and L5. So she fully ruptured her disc at that time. And the doctors had her put on all these different opiates. She was getting epidural shots. And they pretty much told her she was never going to live pain-free without painkillers. And being 21, you're like, no way. Because there's a long life ahead of you, right?
Yeah.
And so at that point, I realized, I was like, all right, let's try experimenting with cannabis and natural healing instead of using pharmaceuticals. We were able to get her off with cannabis, as well as changing your lifestyle. So obviously, like prioritizing nutritious, dense foods, taking care of yourself, getting your movement in, working out. And with the combination of those two, you can heal your body naturally. And so
Yeah.
she was able to completely step away from pharmaceuticals. She ended up competing in 3 national bikini competitions as well. So watching her completely change her life just right in front of me and being her partner, it changed my perspective and made me really want to be an advocate for somebody who didn't realize that there are so many alternatives outside of pharmaceuticals.
Oh yeah, shout out to her, by the way. Yeah, that's dope shit. Yeah. I had similar stuff too, because I was in the Army and stuff, and they had me on Percocets right away when I threw out my back about 3 times. So I was sitting there about 21, 22, like okay. And oddly enough, though, I lucked out for some reason. I was like, mine was muscle spasms, not as severe. And they couldn't really figure it out. And then I finally got a physical therapist who was actually like a chiropractor too. And he was like, pop, and did this. And I was like, oh, that's all I needed. But they were eager to just throw pills at me.
Yep. That's the first thing.
Yeah. And from where she went, where she came from, that's dope. So,
yeah.
So with cannabis, do you use it for yourself? Do you like medicate? Like we were talking with the Pot Buddha, and he switched from the benzos and stuff to actually measuring out and stuff like that. Do you?
Yeah. One of the main reasons why I started consuming on a consistent basis was for sleep. So I had insomnia growing up. So, and that kind of runs in my family. And so the doctor started talking to me about doing those type of sleeping pills, but I really didn't want to go into that because I've seen so many like addictions with that. So kind of took a step back and just started using cannabis every single day for that specific reason. Also, I'm super ADHD, so I'm always like going all over the place, and cannabis also helps me kind of hone in on the work that I need to do as well. So it helps in a lot of different aspects.
I agree, because
definitely.
I'll be trying to do any work or anything in like the world that like even just like weighs on you and stuff, and you start to get stressed. And then that affects about your whole day. You know, we've talked and stuff before. So with that, like, do you like, for most people started, like I started with flour and stuff, and that's kind of one question that we want to ask everybody is, how did you exactly start? Was it your sister gave it to you? Was it flour? Did you smoke a joint? Did you?
Yeah, flour, aluminum can was the first time. Okay. The aluminum can poking. I know it's terrible now, it's but
right. I think I'm one of the only people that didn't start with an aluminum foil joint or pipe, or what did she say? Aluminum foil blunt.
Oh yeah. The aluminum. Well, it was a pipe, but yeah, she said blunt. Yeah, that was.
Then we got into pipes, and then we did a lot of like steamrollers and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then then bongs and stuff as we got older, and we didn't have to hide everything. So.
Right. And nowadays you're I mean you're a connoisseur. From my perspective. I don't see you buying like random stuff. And so with that, do you find for yourself, since we're talking cannabis, are you, another question I want to ask people, are you more gas or like gas, fruit terps?
I would definitely say gas.
Meat terps.
Or gas. Sometimes fruit terps, but gas mainly.
Hell yeah. Because I know I for one am fruit terp forward, but a lot of people out here are definitely gassed, and like I appreciate all that kind of stuff. I think we've seen some Pot Buddha stuff going around with like Dillinger and Tahoe OG and stuff.
Yeah. I haven't seen as much like fruit stuff out here though.
Really?
Yeah, as many. Yeah, I just feel like I come across a lot more gas out here personally though. But I'm newer to Arizona, so I'm still trying to.
Give it Give it a minute. You'll start seeing all the citrusy, fruity stuff. Arizona's
Definitely
known for the
citrus is huge out here.
Yeah, I like citrus.
Matter of fact,
Yeah,
Pot
right
Buddha,
there. I was
right?
just
Cherry Gellinade. I think
Cherry
you tried
Gellinade I liked a lot.
Yeah. And then like, well, I've talked to a couple of people. I'm not gonna put them out there, but they've had someone has a DJ Short Blueberry cut, and I want it. That's my number one strain. I know some other people. Yeah, shut up. I know a couple people have it. But yeah, there's quite a few different strains out there. If you like, and I'm still learning myself, so not like don't cut yourself short or anything like that. I'm finding people more and more every day that are growing and stuff, because not everybody wants to tell you all the kind of stuff that they're doing.
And you won't always find what you're looking for in a dispensary. A lot of times it's going to be in the legend market, is what they call it. But yeah,
clandestine. I like it.
But if you're looking for like some old school OG type stuff like that, right now Legends kind of is doing a lot of the old, bringing back a lot of the old school stuff.
Nice. Smirk's good. I'm gonna definitely get that Fruity Pebbles OG. That's in my top 5 as well. So when I saw that, I told them bought. So make sure everyone knows that. Please let me know, because I'm gonna be so sad if we miss it. But yeah. So with like you work out and stuff, we've been trying to be more healthier and stuff. I'm myself am trying to drink less of the monsters and stuff. I know this is probably not that great because probably a lot of sugars in. But wait a minute. No artificial sweeteners, no added sugar, so there's already sugar in. But do you advocate for like consuming cannabis and then working out with like for myself? I do it with the mind muscle, whatever I don't know the terms.
Mind muscle connection.
There you go. Thank you. Safe.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, at least personally, I've been doing it for over 8 years. Every single day I go work out, I'll consume cannabis before. And I feel like just like you said, the mind muscle connection, as well as after just eating, because the majority of your gains come after the workout, you know. That's kind of just breaking down your muscle mass. But in order to rebuild and replenish, you have to be able to consume enough food to be able to fill your body. So keeping the nutritious dense foods and then consuming cannabis. That's what I do.
Yeah, man. Like definitely I dab or smoke before I go work out, get that connection. But I definitely have to smoke after I work out too, because otherwise I won't eat.
Yeah.
Because I'm just in that sped up mode and stuff like that.
Especially if you have caffeine.
Yeah. Well, I don't, but I have like the pre-workout, and then I have my amino-rich, nitrous oxide, whatever concoction drink, B vitamins.
You're pumping. You're ready.
Yeah, but I've kind of fell off the past couple of weeks. But anyway, but yeah, no, I understand that, but awesome. I appreciate you sharing that with us. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and did you have anything else?
No.
Okay, we'll go ahead and jump into the next segment, which is Trip Tales.
Nice.
Hey, we're back. That's good. That's good for you guys. It's good for hydration. Sorry, I didn't mean to make a face. So Trip Tales is all about like psychedelic experiences or information, things going on. And a lot of people nowadays are microdosing with shrooms or even people in the computer area are like microdosing even with Lucy and shit. LSD acid, to be clear. Not saying that everyone's on it, but do you maybe but do you have any like experiences with psychedelics in which not just maybe recreational, but more in something that you've learned, like a lesson in life or something like that you would like to share?
Yeah.
But maybe don't do too much. It's almost
without
lesson.
incriminating myself. I've definitely experimented with different things. Mushrooms I find fascinating. Fungi I find fascinating. I'm a big fan of Paul Stamets, and so I saw him speak the other day, a couple months ago.
Yeah, I missed out on
that. Was really cool. But just what they're discovering that it can do to your brain, to your like neuropathways, and being able to help rebuild those. And having that saying, teaching an old dog new tricks, it can actually be a thing. And so with mushrooms, especially with like PTSD, for example, the studies that have been coming out with that, I find extremely fascinating. And in my opinion, I don't think anybody, there should be no government who bans natural healing. And they should, especially closing the door for research. And so I think it should be completely wide open for scientists to be able to do research as well as consuming, as long as you're doing it safely, and in moderation too. One
Don't
thing I
eat them
found,
and go on a plane. Don't
Hmm?
eat them and go on a plane. Like people, for some reason, think it's a great idea lately.
to
Definitely
go into
not.
a flying tube.
Or be in charge of it. But yeah, so definitely.
What?
You didn't hear that? There is a
No.
pilot recently who like had shrooms or whatever, and then he was in the middle of flight, just tried to shut off all the engines. Because he thought he was tripping, like in a dream or some shit or nothing. And then like he wasn't supposedly tripping at the time, but he blamed it on that.
He turned off the engines. He was definitely tripping in one
Yeah.
way or another.
But
Wow.
so yeah, so
That's annoying.
sorry.
Yeah, so
but
moderation obviously is a huge thing.
setting like Terrence McKenna and all of them talked about, but Paul Stamets really good. There's psychedelic puppets. Have you seen that on YouTube?
I don't think I have.
Everyone check that out. Psychedelic puppets. They have some like couple like quick videos and stuff, but it's with Paul Stamets and stuff, and they have little quips with like Terrence McKenna saying some things or something, and they do that AI thing, and it's pretty fucking trippy. It's dope. But
I'll
yeah,
have to check that out.
yeah. I'll definitely have to check out. Did that talk that you saw did it happen to go on any like YouTube or anything?
I'm
For
not
anybody
sure.
to check
I know they
out?
were streaming it, but I don't know if they did a recording anywhere.
Damn. Something
But
to
it was
look
really
into.
fascinating. It was like the history of fungi.
So yeah, can you elaborate a little bit on that? Like, did you find out about
So they talked about like one of the species that was founded after him. But then what was really fascinating was when they were talking about, I've heard it multiple times, but how like Japan used fungi to help with the pathways to the subway rails. And so they like created a miniature version of the actual city, put this specific fungi that's supposed to be smart and intelligent to find the most efficient route throughout the city to make the subway rails. And so just that by itself shows that there's so much that we can learn from it. That it just blows in my mind every time he talks. And he's so passionate about it that it's just contagious.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love that guy. That guy's really easy to listen to.
What's his name again?
Paul Stamets.
Stamets. Okay.
Stamets. Him, also like recordings and of Terrence McKenna when he was around. Definitely, that's where I get the 7 grams in a dark room. That'll teach you some stuff. Probably never to do that again if you're not ready. But that's a good one. Awesome. Yeah. I want to dive into that eventually. I get so buried in things that I already have, but I really want to dive into the different like species and stuff of shrooms and the different strains and whatnot, because like I forgot who I was just listening to. But can't find a perfect like a medium for your trips or your microdoses or whatnot. So then you switch to like I was trying to do at one point in time with penis envy mushrooms, which are super strong, and I couldn't find a dose. But then I switched to like golden teachers. Perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everybody's gonna have their thing. So
absolutely.
I know they're working on it with the VA and veterans.
Yep.
But hopefully we just fast forward this shit and get to it, because I don't know, shrooms really help me out and stuff like that, and I want to be able to like learn more about myself and about shrooms and stuff, and not be so worried about it like we have been with cannabis for so long.
Yeah, I have a friend too who owns Impact Psychedelic, which is ketamine therapy. And they do everything virtual, and then therapy like following it, because a lot of it's like breakthrough after the fact too.
Yes.
So yeah, overall with psychedelics, I think there's a lot that we can do for the community.
Definitely.
Ketamine for sure helped me out. I love that shit.
Psilocybin helped me out.
And then one of my favorite things though is after like the ketamine's worn off and stuff, and then you're watching TV and stuff like or whatever you're trying to do to calm down or like zone out after that shit's wearing off. It removes your personality from what you're watching, and you can watch stuff objectively again without having any prior societal or weird. It's really weird, and it's a good thing because you start rethinking a lot of stuff. So
yeah,
that's where I feel like ketamine is the trippy, because it gets you thinking more than
and a different perception.
Yeah, it's like an inner thing. Dope. Yeah. Shout out to anybody that's getting the ketamine therapy going.
Anybody who's healing. Yeah. Anybody who's healing.
Shout out Healing Chefs. Welcome. And then that's where they got the name. All right. So we're going to go ahead and jump into this break. And did you have anything? Nope.
Oh, no, I can talk some after.
Okay. We got a break.
Habari Entertainment Films present There's Only One Name for News with Damon and Aisha. Habari Live Podcast. Habari Entertainment, a race against time. On a quest for glory. Habari News Weekly, HabariEntertainment.com. Catch us for more. Visit us, HabariEntertainment.com.
And we're back. Yeah, so real quick, jump into mental health as wealth. Let it rain on your brain. All right. So, all right. I'm not high, but there'll be science. I'm just kidding. I'm high. But so mental health is wealth is obvious. But I myself, being a veteran with PTSD, have been working on this stuff, and no, I'm not perfect or anything like that. But a lot of what I've been dealing with lately, and that's something like I maybe want to go over and we'll go into, but is setting up boundaries, which is a new thing for me. I used to be like quite a bit of a people pleaser, as much as people don't agree with that. But I've always just tried to be like, why do they like, and trying to figure out why people don't like me and trying to fix that or get back at like nowadays we just set up boundaries and stuff and move on and stuff. So that's something that I'm learning. Do you have any things that you've learned throughout, I don't know, being alive in this crazy ass world?
I think boundaries is huge. So boundaries is, especially coming from like entrepreneurship, if you don't have boundaries, your mental health isn't gonna survive by any means. And if you don't have mental health, your physical self can't recover fast, and you're not going to be able to function. So definitely take care of your mental health in general. Get moving. I've done a lot of work. I've been in a relationship for a really long time, and in order to succeed in relationships, you have to continuously work on yourself. And so talking things out, being open to learning, that's the one thing that I've like completely submitted to, is expecting myself to be a master of everything. I just need to accept that I'm always going to be learning. You know, I'm always going to be willing to learn from everybody around me. And that helps with my mental state in general, you know, because you are learning from everybody else's mistakes, while obviously you're still making a lot of mistakes through life, but you have to take it as a learning experience and get better and get there the next day, because every day is new.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. Yeah, because I've tried to, work through different things and stuff, and I was a horrible communicator in different relationships and stuff. So I definitely have been the culprit for a couple different things, and throughout my life. And I'm trying to work on that stuff, and I've even gone back to some people and been like, hey, this is kind of where I failed. then let's see if we can right this ship. And sometimes that just doesn't work either. And then we got to that's when the boundaries come in and stuff. So
yeah, but you should be proud for acknowledging that, taking that next step is like huge. So kudos to you, bro.
I appreciate it. Yeah. Let's not pump my ego up too much because I've been horrible, but I'm learning every day. It's a work in progress, like anything. But just with the world in general, we got all sorts of crazy shit going on. Society's crazy. Everyone thought that with the eclipse, we were all going to get super special powers, or the world was going to end.
I'm really hoping for the superpower part.
Yeah, that'd be hype.
Yeah, I'm white. I don't think I was going to get superpowers. I think we already used them up. Just these are jokes. Not everybody on the Healing Chefs agrees with anything that I say. This is comedy. This is satire. But no, seriously, there's a lot of crazy shit going on, and we have to be able to focus and realize that all these outside stressors aren't really what's going on, and we build these mind prisons, and we're like, especially in this cannabis industry around here, we get so focused on say new brands come in like Wizard Trees or something like that. We'll pinpoint in to focus on them or something like that. And then if certain people if they don't share this or do this, or they don't like this, and people start freaking out and stuff, and then they think that's the world, but then these people just end up moving on anyway. You know what I'm saying? And then you're left with sitting there holding absolutely nothing. So what we need to get back to is actually people True that grows like Boominati and stuff like that, and help support each other that way, because that'll be a better way, because those people will be there to support you when you have something going on as well. There's a long way around that.
Yeah. Focus on yourself as being a good person and helping that neighbor,
Yeah. The best thing the best thing I can do for you is take care of me. And the best thing you can do is, take care of you.
Yeah.
I wish more people understood that.
Bro, it's taken me 30 something years. Oh man, it's been a while. And I'm still learning lessons every day. I am by no means perfect, and no, I don't think I'm perfect at all. So yeah, I get humbled all the time, and that's nice that you said that within your relationship you learned that early to be able to be taught. That's something that it's kind of new to me for the past couple year or so. I've been trying to not feel like I know everything. I'm a chef, but I'm not the chef, the only chef. You know what I'm saying? Like that. That was a big moment for me.
It's a big thing in the cannabis industry too. I'm not gonna lie, it took my fiance that I'm with now. We've been together a little over 10 years, but it took her to take that cocky ego out of me, for me to understand that, yeah, I've been doing this 18 years, but there's somebody who may have just started who knows something that I may have not taken in, because one, I either refused to listen, or two, I just didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a KRS-One thing he said
100%.
recently. If younger people listen to older people, then they'll move faster among younger people because they'll have advanced knowledge. If older people listen to younger people, we'll move faster within the older people because we'll have new knowledge. And that ties in the shrooms and stuff like that with the neuropathways and all building that stuff. I'll tell you this much, with the editing, with digital editing, I never would have figured that shit out if it wasn't for psychedelics. I took that shit and could focus, and that was just I can't tell you unless you've experienced it, but it felt like it's building shit in my brain, just lighting shit up, and I'm just like, oh, what if I just, you can just so many perspectives. So
helped it click for sure.
Hell yeah. Awesome. So treat everyone great, treat yourself great first. Then
remember those boundaries.
And then also what I've learned too, one last thing is when people yell and stuff like that and they're upset, it's not what's going on the outside, it's what's going on the inside. So maybe absorb some of that shit talk and then try to fucking get through to them, or again, boundaries. So you guys have anything else you want to share on that? No? Okay.
You hit it right there.
Oh, awesome. Boundaries. Thank you guys. Hell yeah. All right. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the last segment, which is like plug talk. Now, I may not be a plug, but I'm a refrigerator because I stay cold and plugged in. You know what I'm saying? Everybody calm down. Everybody. Hey. All right. No. So this is all about promo and stuff like that. I know yourself, you have different shoots going on here and there and stuff like that, but you have been helping. I know at one point in time with your fiance's podcast and stuff like that. Want to talk about anything going on? Plug yourself. He's an amazing photographer.
Yeah, photographer. If anybody needs any photography help, I take on a few clients per month just to make sure I give them that dedication. Or if there's any licensed dispensaries or manufacturers, cultivators who needed help with inventory tracking, so our Dutchie point of sale system, definitely feel free to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to collaborate. I work with plenty of different markets as well, so I'm always down for a good collaboration session to see how we could help you out.
Absolutely.
And then, like you mentioned too, my fiance has a podcast, the Positively Fit Community, specifically for women empowerment, and also for a lot of coaches as well. So that's something that I would suggest checking out if you just wanted a boost of positivity.
Where can they find that?
I've heard of that.
On Apple Music, Spotify, pretty much like all main platforms.
On the internet.
On the
you
internet.
guys, you know, you guys on the line.
Yeah, Positively Fit randomly popped up on my Spotify after he sent me a.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, I was like, what?
It's working. Yeah, that's been a lot of learning for me being a producer for that. Just like learning more videography. I started off as photography, so again, just trying to be a student at life and learning more stuff as I go and being okay with failing a lot, like I said. So
yeah, that's why like I leave all like the mess ups and stuff and any of like the editing that we've done or the podcast and stuff, because so much of the social media and the internet is all fake and just like I don't want anybody to see us making a mistake or anything like that. Like I want you to see me making a mistake. Like, cause like we all make mistakes, and I'm not gonna hide that shit from you. Like, cause
that's
like,
one of the biggest things that's wrong with one of the biggest things that's wrong with the cannabis industry. Instead of being transparent about the mistakes that are being made, they'll put that money into hiding the mistakes and still pushing out whatever instead of learning from those mistakes.
Yeah, transparency is everything in this industry. If you can't be transparent, it's going to bite you in the ass eventually.
Yeah, but unfortunately with this cannabis industry, I just feel it's just going more and more corporate as we go on. And so that's going to work for some people, but it's not going to work for everybody. Yeah. And the more and more that happens, then like all of us outliers will start popping up with like craft and stuff like that. But here's the thing though, that I've seen, and I like it needs to stay craft. You don't need to scale that shit. As soon as you scale that shit, it leads into everything else that we've run into.
So I've noticed with some of the places, like big scale craft cannabis is absolutely positive as long as you have people that are really dedicated to the plant and following SOPs. As long as you have owners that allow directors of cultivation and lead growers to do what they're there to do, it can be done. It seems like the biggest problem here in Arizona is the owners who have, most of them never grown cannabis. Some of them don't even consume cannabis. They're there telling the director of cultivation and the lead growers what to do when they actually have no idea what they're talking about. They're like, oh, well, I saw this guy at this place do it this way and it works for them. No. Your environment isn't the exact same as their environment over there. Yeah, it's not gonna work the same. You know what I mean?
Totally agree. Like, stay the fuck out of my kitchen.
Exactly.
Like,
Sorry. Exactly. Like, I'm cool with people watching me in the kitchen, but please don't hover over me and be like, "Hey, what's that? Hey, what are you putting in there? What's that? Hey, can I have your recipe?" Like stuff like that. Like that I find a little.
If you have something genuine to like offer me in the kitchen, hell yeah, I'm gonna listen to you.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
That's how the fuck I learned anything. Like, I'm teachable, but if you're just there to be like, well, I read in fucking Better Homes and Gardens, well, go back there and go read Better Homes and Gardens.
So, a lot of people believe that book knowledge supersedes actual hands-on knowledge.
Yeah.
Like you can read a book can tell you anything, but how many times have you done it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
It's definitely about the experience. 100% about the experience. Actually doing it. The book can only tell you so much, especially with all the variables that play into
Exactly.
it. So
absolutely. When I was a kid, before I even learned any like cooking and stuff, I thought you took like different sauces and you just mixed them together, and that's how chefs did like bottled sauces. I'm like, I keep putting these things together, and none of it tastes right. Well, because that's not how shit happens. Like, and then like you read some shit out of Better Homes and Gardens, and people make that shit, and that's not cooking either. That's reheating or something. I don't know. Sorry. Shut up. Sorry, Better Homes and Gardens. Please feature me. Once I get a garden or a home. But your IG though, to be clear though, is at Shot by Big Ben, so they can get you there.
That's it.
And for us coming up, we have was it May 19th event? We're gonna have another sesh.
Yeah.
We're gonna have another sesh May 19th at Exhale Society. We're gonna do thank you. Yep, yeah, sure. And then and during that one, we're gonna have someone, if not Hot Buddha or somebody, we're gonna have a demonstration. We're not exactly what yet, but we're gonna get a little more interactive on the next one here coming up, because it's time to like start getting things in motion.
More hands-on.
More hands-on. I want people to learn stuff. So that's the whole point of everything, is to help people learn different things, have connections and stuff, and make people not feel so alone.
Yeah, no, it's a no gatekeeping zone.
No gatekeeping, no key. The open door, literally open door policy. That door is open right now. Literally
and figuratively.
Yeah. So yeah. Big shout out to Sin City Seeds. We're gonna get those seeds popping eventually. The strain that AZ named. Shout out Cookies, especially the boys in Santa Cruz, Earth Rhythm, Fuego Family Farms, Growing Passion, the Buck, Young Buck, Native Selections. I keep saying things. High Grade. Shout out Ian at Arise. All this stuff. Shout out True. Shout out AbariEntertainment.com. Coming up next is Boom and Naughty. Thank you very much, brother, for coming.
Thank you.
We will tap in. Make sure if you want a good photo shoot photographer, tap into the man. Also, remember, Dutchie programs cannabis. If you need it, he's right there. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you all for watching. Tap in, smoke up, trip out. We're out of here. Love y'all.
I had to